Hi, I'm Paul Edwards, author of the Mourners Woods books, and first and foremost, a monster kid. Tonight I'm watching April Fool's Day. No, not that April Fool's Day. No, I wish. No, this is the other April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day from 2008. Don't feel bad if you didn't see this movie in the theater, because nobody did. This was a direct-to-DVD release. It's packaged and marketed as if it were a remake of the 1986 April Fool's Day that horror fans all remember, but it's a remake in name only. There are really no plot elements in common with the 1986 film. There are no characters returning. There are no references to the events of 1986. It's a completely separate continuity. It just happens to have the title of a well-known slasher movie. So reviewing this movie, I'm not going to give any spoilers for this 2008 movie, but I am going to give spoilers for the 1986 movie. So if you're 40 years behind and haven't caught that one yet, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so we all know that in the 1986 April Fool's Day, it proceeded as an ordinary slasher movie until almost the end, and it turned out that the whole thing was a great big put on. And the killer, quote unquote, was recruiting the victims one by one into the great big April Fool's prank that they were playing on the final girl and her boyfriend. So walking into April Fool's Day 2008, already we have expectations of what's going to happen here. We have an expectation that we're going to see a series of slasher-style murders, and it's going to turn out that the whole thing is a prank, and we'll just have to figure out which person is the prankster. That's what we think. The movie is set in the high society circle of the young adults of North Carolina. And it is set on April 1st of 2007. It begins, there's a coming out party for one of the society debutantes. And this society debutante is played by Scout Taylor-Compton, who the next year would become much more famous for starring in a much more successful horror remake, Rob Zombie's Halloween. But in this film, she's a supporting character, and she plays this debutante who's the person who's being celebrated at this coming out party. And the kids play a prank on another one of the guests at the coming out party, and the prank goes horribly wrong, and the young woman dies a violent death. This time for real. Actually, truly dead. Unlike in the 1986 film, where the person who died at the beginning we thought was not dead. This person really is dead. In fact, a whole year goes by until April 1st, 2008, when the main story of the movie picks up. It's been a year since Milan Hastings, the young woman who died at that party, was lost, and now we have to encounter a group of grieving friends whose friend group is all messed up and whose lives are all messed up because of this calamity that happened last year. And of course, they start getting messages from a mysterious unknown person using the name of Milan. And one by one, the members of this friend group fall victims to prank-like murders. Okay. We are left to figure out, number one, are they doing the same thing again in this movie or not? Are they actually killing these people, or are these fake deaths? And number two, whether it's real deaths or a big prank, who's responsible for it? Who's really the mastermind? Okay. I would probably, for horror fans, I would recommend seeing this movie one time. It is not the kind of movie that you would want to watch every April Fool's Day. It is worth taking a look, I think, to see somebody else's take on this kind of a story. But you can't go in thinking it's going to be a remake of the 1986 film, because it's not. And this is nowhere near as good in slasher film terms as the 1986 film. It's not the complete bomb that some people make it out to be. Some of the camera work is okay, and there was one particular shot that I really liked. When the first death happens in the movie, this is Milan's death, the camera is suspended vertically over her, and the shot of her having fallen to her death is a really good one. The red tablecloth takes the place of, or suggests, the spread of blood, and it's a pretty good composition, I think. But that doesn't mean that the whole movie is good. I'm not saying it's a good movie. I'm just saying it's not as completely irredeemable as some people seem to think it is. So tell us in the comments, since we are doing spoilers for the 1986 April Fool's Day, tell us in the comments, did you understand what was happening when you saw the original April Fool's Day? Or did you, get fooled? Did you get April Fooled the first time you saw that film? By the way, there was another April Fool's Day themed slasher movie that was filmed back in the 80s, and they found out, to their horror, that the April Fool's Day movie we know was in production. So at the last minute, they had to rename the other April Fool's Day to Slaughter High. Slaughter High did not do that well, but if you Google Slaughter High, you will find that Caroline Munro was in it. Somehow they got Caroline Munro to do a part in this film. And, there would have been a third April Fool's film if that one had kept its original title. It's been long enough now that we're due for another April Fool's Day. I'm sure sooner or later somebody is going to remake it. And when they do, I really think that they ought to try making the deaths themselves look like harmless pranks that have somehow horribly gone wrong. That would be my idea for it. But what do I know? I'm only a horror writer. Listen, if you enjoy classic horror and classic monsters, check out my book series, the Mourners Woods books. I'm self-published on Amazon. I've written a series of novels all set in a haunted forest, Mourners Woods. I'll post a link to my books in the description for this video. Thanks for letting me talk to you about the other April Fool's Day. I'll see you in Mourners Woods.